unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV.
So I'm not really worried about anything. It's just, the last repetitive date that we'll ever see. But to me, that's basically all it is.
Is Iowa City superstitious? We'll show you how some locals are reacting to the much talked about date 12-12-12.
And college counseling. See why students are not alone when it comes to student loans.
And in sports, more awards, the Hawks in the NFL, and our weekly visit from wrestling insider Cody Goodwin.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning into your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Ian Martin.
And I'm Whitney Blakemore.
Well, earlier this week, there was one number on everyone's mind and on their calendars.
Discussions popped up all over the internet Monday discussing the once-in-a-lifetime date of 12-12-12.
Some people believe the date had special meaning, while others not so much.
I'm not really worried about anything. It's just, the last repetitive date that we'll ever see. But to me, that's basically all it is.
I think it's significant that people care about it, but other than that, probably not.
It really doesn't. It's not very important. At least to me, it's not.
The next time there will be a date with 3 repeating numbers, Whitney, will be on January 1st, 3001. And UI President Sally Mason can expect a strong group of believers despite recent criticism. Faculty and staff and student leaders issued a statement Wednesday saying they promise to stand behind the president. Mason's job security has become shaky in criticism from the school's governing board and the governor. Tune in to the Daily Iowan TV newscast on Thursday for coverage of the press conference Sally Mason held today.
The University of Iowa will be offering a new service to help students balance their bills. The average college student borrows more than $25,000 in school loans. This shocking statistic is leading the university to take action. This spring, the school will offer counseling services to students who need advice about the loans. The university hopes the students will take advantage of these free services.
We definitely want students to start reaching out to us now that we'll be advertising these new services in the spring. We would love to have students come to us and tell us that they have a need.
The counselors should be ready to meet with students in the first or second week of next semester.
A new admissions application at the UI will be one of the first in the nation to cater to the LGBT community. The UI is the first public university to include optional questions about sexual orientation and gender identity on its application. University officials say the move shows they value diversity of all students. They say asking about sexual orientations will allow the college to better serve students.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, Change for a Cause. See which familiar organization is asking for your help this season.
And in sports, former Iowa stars of Saturday are making things happen on NFL Sundays. We'll tell you who to look out for this weekend. But first, let's go to Kara Bimschlager for a look at this week's weather. Kara?
All right, thanks, Ian. The weather has been pretty consistent lately with chilly mornings, warm afternoons, and cold evenings. And it looks like that pattern is going to continue. Tomorrow we start the day with a chilly 33 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And the afternoon is bringing warmer temperatures with temps getting up to 48. And the night cools down with a cold 27 degrees to end yet another day of finals week. And going into the extended forecast, Saturday will be bringing some rain with a 70% chance of precipitation. And at the beginning of next week, temperatures will be in the upper 30s, and Tuesday there will be a 30% chance of snow. Well, that's all I have here at weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kara. Finals week can be stressful, and some students are barking for ways to relax. One UI group decided to answer those calls and bring a man's best friend to campus for some relaxation therapy. UI Pause is a group whose mission is to promote animal welfare and society. They came up with the idea to bring therapy dogs to campus for students to play with during finals week. UI Paws teamed up with the Therapy Dogs of Johnson County to have their first event last Thursday. About 400 students showed up and played with these trained dogs to get their minds off of studying.
The students just got to take turns going up to the dogs, playing with them. I guess that's their biggest job, providing entertainment. And I guess it's sort of like a distraction or relaxation from studying, so that was the main purpose.
Tonight will be the group's second event. It will take place from 7 to 9 in the Lucas Dodge Room located in the Iowa Memorial Union.
With the holiday season comes giving and bell ringing. Zach Grant tells us about a familiar organization and why they still need your change in 2012.
Come holiday season, that is a very familiar sound. It's the sound of an army with a cause, the Salvation Army. And no doubt we have all seen them standing outside our local supermarket. Their mission is simple. It's to help people in the community both spiritually and physically. They offer daily soup kitchens and hand out blankets and other necessities to the needy. A nonprofit group, the Salvation Army, runs strictly on donations. And this year their goal is to raise over $350,000.
We're hoping to reach that goal, hoping to succeed, go over that goal. It'd be wonderful to do that.
Another big part of the Salvation Army is the program Toys for Tots. This program provides gifts to less fortunate children. This program is high on Larisha's wish list.
More than anything else, I would say on my wish list is toys. I want to have a huge surplus of toys. So
here at the Salvation Army, the holiday season, is the busiest time for them and the time when they need the most donations. Is there anything else the Salvation Army is in need of?
Canned goods, always welcome. Old ones, drop them by. We use them quick.
Okay. So next time you're leaving the grocery store with some extra change, maybe empty your pockets and give a little bit to a good cause. Zach Grant, Daily Iowan Television.
The Salvation Army says they are always in need of volunteers. Anyone interested should contact their local chapter.
The state of Iowa is doing better than expected in regards to its cash flow. An Iowa business panel said Wednesday that the state's revenue should grow by 3.3% by next June. That number is almost $35 million more than the panel estimated. Revenue is expected to increase by yet another 3.4% next fiscal.
The value of Iowa farmland is another number that will be seeing higher digits this year. A new land value survey from Iowa State University shows the price for an acre of land has jumped to a record $8,300. The value of Iowa farmland rose 24% in the past year. The survey covered 486 responses from Iowa land brokers, and this is the third straight year that farmland value has risen more than 15%.
And now let's take a look at what is happening outside of Iowa. A former worker at South Dakota Beef Processing Plant is suing ABC News. Earlier this year, ABC coined the term pink slime, referring to certain types of beef products. 58-year-old Bruce Smith is suing because he says the phrase hurt business and made him lose job.
After 14 years of being in charge, Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez may have to step down. The ailing president may not be able to recover enough after cancer surgery in time for his January 10th inauguration. Chavez traveled to Cuba on Sunday for his fourth cancer-related operation. His vice president, Nicolas Maduro, is poised to step up to the plate if necessary. And now for your Hawkeye Sports Update, let's go to Kate Constable.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Not as much on the field action to cover this week with finals in full swing, but that doesn't mean that Iowa athletics aren't being talked about off the court, playing field, or pool for that matter. Need some proof? How about a straight sweep of the Big Ten's weekly swimming honors? Becky Stoughton, Joelle Christie, and Olivia Kabazinski all received Big Ten honors as the swimmer, diver, and freshman of the week, respectively. Stoughton earned Swimmer of the Week after capturing 3 event titles over in-state rival Iowa State. Christie also captured 2 events against the Clones, and Kabazinski continued her impressive start in Iowa City after swimming to 4 first-place finishes, helping the Black and Gold notch their 3rd straight series victory over their in-state rivals. And some slightly unfortunate news out of the Iowa football program today. High school football recruiting analyst Bob Lichtenfels tweeted Wednesday afternoon that Iowa running back Greg Garman will be transferring out of the program. As a freshman this season, Garman ran for 122 yards on 38 attempts. Well, just because the Hawkeyes' college football season is over doesn't mean that football is over altogether. That's right, I'm talking about the NFL, a place where some Hawkeye alums have been making noise lately. This week, 2 Iowa alums stand out the most, and Green Bay Packer defensive end Mike Daniels is definitely on the list for his performance against the Lions on Sunday, returning a fumble by quarterback Matthew Stafford for a 43-yard touchdown. He wasn't the only Hawkeye to show up this past weekend, though. Jets running back Sean Green also caught our staff's eye, rushing for 77 yards on 20 carries and leading the Jets to a win over Jacksonville. The gridiron and the pool aren't the only places former and current Hawkeyes are making a splash. Coach Brands and his historically successful Iowa wrestling program recently found out that junior Derek St. John's has been named to the Big Ten's Wrestler of the Week as well. In studio to discuss that, as well as the upcoming schedule for the Hawks, our wrestling insider, Cody Goodwin. And now, Cody, this is St. John's first time ever being named Wrestler of the Week. What specifically about his performance gave him this title?
It was his performance over number 4 ranked wrestler at 157 pounds in the country, Joey Napoli from Lehigh, last Thursday when the Hawks beat Lehigh 26-9. St. John, who's ranked number 1 at the same weight as Napoli, soundly defeated his Lehigh opponent 6-0 in a very dominating performance. He was actually very close to an 8-0, which would have been a major decision victory over Napoli in that match, but he wasn't able to snag that takedown later in the third period to make it 8-0 instead of 6-0, but still a very dominating performance from St. John and very well-deserved award for him.
And now there were a couple other Hawkeyes that performed really well, one in particular.
Indeed, it was freshman Corey Clark. I know his name's already been thrown around a lot, but this past weekend, the redshirt freshman who's actually wrestling behind Matt McDonough this year, the returning NCAA champ, Corey Clark defeated number 2 ranked Jesse Delgado of Illinois, who actually beat McDonough last year. He beat Delgado at the UNI Open Championship match at 125 pounds, 6-1. It was a very sound performance from the redshirt freshman. And we talked to him on Tuesday about it, and he actually said he wasn't that surprised because he wasn't that intimidated, even though the big name and the big stage, it seems intimidating, but as a redshirt freshman, he handled the pressure very well and was able to come out with a 6-1 victory. He took him down early. He was able to catch him on his back for an early 4-0 lead, and it kind of rattled Delgado, and Corey Clark just kind of took that momentum and ran with it, and sure enough, now his name's making the rounds around the state of Iowa, and sooner or later it will be making the rounds around the country.
Well, yeah, speaking of kind of around the country, they're now traveling to the Big Apple this coming weekend, and their competition isn't going to be that great, but it's on a pretty big stage.
It is. This will be the first time ever that collegiate wrestling will take center stage, if you will, at Madison Square Garden, kind of the world's biggest stage, as people call it, and it's called Grapple at the Garden, kind of a catchy name. But yeah, Iowa will wrestle against Hofstra and Bucknell when they're in New York City, and then they'll also travel to Buffalo the day after to get another duel in. But this is kind of an important event for collegiate wrestling because, again, not a lot of people know about the sport, or if they follow it, they don't follow it as intently as they do, say, Iowa football or this year Iowa basketball. So this is kind of important for the sport as a whole, as well as Iowa wrestling, to kind of go and showcase their sport on the world's biggest stage and to kind of show them what Iowa wrestling as well as collegiate wrestling is really all about. So they're real excited for this opportunity.
Well, good. Thanks for being here with us tonight, Cody. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kate. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Thursday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about a patient overload. See how the UIHC River Landing is adapting.
And see a photo project about Chinese students at the UI.
Well, it's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.